Hey, my friend, Stephen Brooks here, and I teach traders who have $25,000 or more in their trading accounts how to generate a very reliable salary, trading as much as 2 hours a day, as little as 5 minutes a week, plus we have an AI automated trading bot that does a lot of the heavy lifting for us. Now, in my 6+ years of coaching the number of students that I have, I've come to the realization that there is not an endless number of things that could take someone from consistently losing to break even, or from break even to consistently making money in a very short amount of time. There's not an endless number of those things. There's probably a handful of those things that, again, could take someone from negative to neutral or neutral to positive in a really short amount of time. There's not just an endless supply of those. There's a very small number. And what I notice is when you look at traders and when you speak to traders, especially those who want better results, which is more or less everyone, the things that they do, right? There's something called the 80-20 idea. Pareto's principle, I think, is the name of it. But the idea is 20% of the actions generate 80% of the result. And when it comes to trading, at least in my opinion, the overwhelming majority of those who are looking to get better results, instead of spending time on the 20% of actions that generate 80% of the outcome, they do the invert of that. They spend their time on the 80% of things that only give them 20% of the outcome. And I would argue that actually when it comes to trading, that 80% of the work doesn't actually generate 20% of the outcome. It probably generates like 5% of the outcome, maybe give or take 1 percentage point, but not anything more than that. So when traders are looking to get better, which in my experience, after doing this for so long, traders really work at it. And even if they fail or are unsuccessful or don't get the results that they want, they still there's somebody on the roof over there. They still continue to work very, very hard at it and really stick with it. The problem is they are spending the overwhelming amount of their time, let's call it 80% because we came up with the number, not to get 20% of the outcome, like maybe 5% of the outcome. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is one of the things in that 20% of the category that generate, to me, not 80% of the outcome, but something like 95% of the outcome. So let's state that again. 80% of the actions in trading generate 5% of the outcome. 20% of the actions in trading generate 95% of the outcome. The average trader is spending all of their time in the 80% category that is generating the 5% of the outcome. It's one of the reasons why traders, even if they do get better on their own, they really get better at a really small and incremental clip as opposed to really making large improvements in a short amount of time. So that there's a small handful of things in that 20% of the category or that 20% category that, again, generate 95% of the outcome. The one I'm going to talk to you about today is the simplest to do. It will actually, what you should do at the end of this video, you should just do it. It will take you 5 minutes and it will give you a jolt, a very large jolt in a very short amount of time. And it's, again, there's not an endless supply of things that can really give you like an overnight improvement, but this is one of them. Now, when traders are unsuccessful, when traders are not getting the results that they desire, what they normally will do is they will normally look for a new strategy, right? It doesn't matter how long they've done the strategy for or how long they've tried the trade for. What will normally happen way more times than not is all of a sudden the trade doesn't work, or maybe it doesn't work on the first try, or maybe it doesn't work on the first or second try. Maybe it worked for 3 months in a row, then all of a sudden for 1 week it doesn't work. And what will end up happening is they will look for a brand new trade. They'll look for a brand new trade. And that's called strategy hopping. And if you're watching this video, at least at some point in your journey as a trader, you've likely hopped from strategy to strategy to strategy. And as you probably have felt, that hasn't really given you much of a positive outcome over time. Maybe it's given you a short-term fix. That's something that lasts with you for a couple of days. But as soon as that strategy happens to not work out in a profitable way, you stop it and you go hop into something else. So addition in trading, to me, is not the way to go. Actually, what I've seen in coaching for as long as I have, with the number of people that I have, really what gets a immediate impact and it provides an immediate benefit for most is actually elimination. So instead of adding new strategy, more strategy, diversified, let me try this, let me try this, let me try this. How about I add this too? Let me do this. Instead of doing that, which probably hasn't worked for you because I've never really seen it work for anyone, why not try elimination? In fact, it's one of the very small number of things that can really give somebody an overnight benefit. It's elimination. Now, what do I mean? Let's say you use 3 strategies. I don't know what they are, but let's say that you have whittled down your stable of horses, if you will, to 3 strategies. If you want to get better results, the simplest thing is likely going to be cut the least profitable one. Cut the least profitable one. Stop doing it. Only focus on 2. Give your brain the ability to use more of its active cognitive abilities on 2 strategies, because on 2 strategies, your brain is able to use 40 or 50% of its brain's active cognitive abilities. Once you go to 3, it goes down to 30%. So just by eliminating 1 out of the 3 strategies, you're able to use 60% more of your brain's active cognitive abilities. You're focusing on less. It's easier for you to master the thing. And thus, just by removing a possible distraction, just by removing focus on something that is not providing you the outcome that 2 other things are, you get better results. See, again, on this channel specifically, again, we do talk about trades, but on this channel specifically, I basically come in every morning and I'm like, hey, based on the results I saw yesterday, or based on the results that I saw last week, or based on some of the questions that my customer support team has told me that they're getting, what would be a really good topic to cover today? What would be a good topic to cover this week, next week, et cetera, et cetera. And it's actually so shocking that it is never about the actual trades. It just never is. Most traders don't put themselves in a position to succeed regardless if they're using the optimal strategy or not. And via adding more strategies, you're just beating a dead horse. You're just running harder into a wall that cannot be moved. But via elimination, you're able to have a little bit more room to breathe. You have a lot more clarity. You're able to focus on less. And based on what biology says, you're able to use a much greater percentage of your brain's active cognitive abilities. So it doesn't matter how many different strategies you're using right now. You will get a massive benefit by cutting one of them now. So you could pause the video. You could do it at the end of this video, whatever you want to do, but you will get greater benefit from subtraction when it comes to trading than addition. So again, do yourself a favor. At the end of this video, I'll probably wrap this up in 30 seconds or do it now. Write down on a piece of paper. Now, you should know this. All the different strategies that you use. Which one do you think has given you the least profitable, or dare I say, the worst results? Cut it. Stop doing it. Forget it even existed. That's it. Again, I see it time and time again. I have people who I work with that make many hundreds of thousands of dollars. I have people who I work with who make over $10,000 a week, very consistently, very much like a salary. These are people who are focusing on very few things. Very few things. These are people who are not diversified at all. And if you talk to them about diversification, they'll either walk away or they'll kind of laugh at you. So again, do yourself a favor. Write down on a piece of paper all the different strategies that you follow. You should know for sure which ones work the best for you and which ones don't. Whichever one is at the bottom of that list in terms of profitability, cross it out, stop doing it, and all of a sudden you'll have a little bit more room to breathe, you'll have a lot more clarity, you'll be able to tap into much more of your brain's active cognitive abilities, and just overnight via elimination, you're probably going to get much better results. I'll see you in the next video.